Alright guys, let's go. We have some old dead elm sticks here we're going to use for makeshift shooting sticks. I forgot to bring any cordage, so when in doubt, we can always use the old cravat, right? Whew, it's about too hot for that thing anyway. Just gonna go. Okay, so as you guys probably know, about a week ago I did a video, maybe 2 weeks ago, on Ethan's Sharps 1863 sporting or business rifle. And I shot that, and in that video I talked about how I always wanted one, but one never came up in my price range. Well, it wasn't. The very next day I got to look around on Gunbroker, and this was called a 63, but it's way closer to a 59, and when I get done with it, it's going to get a patch box, and it's going to have a more appropriate lock plate and some other stuff that's going to make it a model of 1859. I found this for $399, had 3 days, no bids. I thought, well, I'll never get it. I bid my $399 and kept waiting, and lo and behold, I won it. Now the difference is this is an IAB. Like I said, a few other differences. Ethan's has the round barrel. This one came with a Parkerized barrel and some really modern sights that I didn't like. I got it home. This gun was made in 1994, I believe. I got it home. First thing I did was I draw filed the Parkerization and the IAB markings off the top of the barrel. Don't worry, they're still under the stock, so it can't be mistaken for an original. And then I went ahead and I ordered the Dixie Gunworks veneer sights and globe front, and I put the crosshairs in the globe front, and all in all, this turned out to be a pretty good gun for $399. And it also has a bigger chamber than that one of Ethan. So what I'm shooting here right now is this is going to be a 504 grain ringtail bullet, and I don't know how well it's going to shoot. I've never shot this gun before, and it's backed up by 120 grains of our homemade 3F. So this should be quite a whack. And I have never shot this gun before. I don't know if it's going to leak gas. It's just loaded loose, which is kind of how I'm thinking I'm going to load them, because I don't care for. I will shoot paper cartridges in it, but that's going to be a specialized thing. All right, I have no idea where this is going to be. Before I filed all that off and took where that sight was off and filled the dovetail, I went ahead and set this sight to exactly where the other sight was, which was 65 minutes of angle. That was where the cheap modern sight was set. I have no idea how we're going to be shooting left or right or up or down. I have a little target. It's a little 6-inch target, paper target at 50 yards. And we're going to take a shot here. Like I said, never fired this gun, so we're going to see what happens. One thing I've learned about vernier sights, I never had many. It's hard to use a broad brim hat with a vernier sight. And even harder to use glasses. Alright. So, 504 grain bullets, 120 grains of homemade 3F. Hopefully we hit the target. I have no idea. I probably flinched on that too. I do not think this gun has ever been fired before, looking down the barrel and the amount of grease that was in it. I cleaned the grease off the side of the block, but I didn't think to clean out the flash channel, so I probably should have done that. We'll find out if we can get it to work. One thing's for sure on these Sharps, they sure are easy to unload. If something goes wrong, all you gotta do is open it up and dump the powder out. We are gonna go take a look and see how on that was. So at 50 yards, guys, we weren't even in the neighborhood. And if you're wondering, I did take my glasses off. I'm not worried about this gun. But the fact of the matter is, with those safety glasses, this aperture is so small, I have a hard time seeing through it on a black target. So if that was a white target, we'd probably be fine. I took my sight down to 50 minutes of angle instead of 65. And hopefully that puts us at least, like I said, in the neighborhood of on the target. I think we went way over it last time there. Had a little more punch that time too. So we had it set up on a post at 50 yards, and I don't know if I was going over it or to the side, but we weren't marking any bullet holes. So we moved on down a pasture way, put the target in some dirt, and Noah's gonna get behind me when I go to fire, and he's gonna help me spot. Hopefully we see some dirt fly to tell if we're left, right, or high. Obviously we weren't right below because we didn't hit the post. So without further ado, let's take another shot. That pushes it out. Alrighty. That was way low and way right. Like a foot right and a foot low. So, if we want to move it to the left, right, we take the back sight, we loosen it, and you can go ever so far one way or the other. Let's see. You pull the back sight the direction that you want it to go, right? Okay guys, I went ahead and brought it back up to 65 because I think I know where it's hitting. We're at 65 minutes of angle, where the old sight was. I've moved my rear sight as far as it will go with the straight adjustment on this. There's two ways to adjust these, by the way. If you loosen these two screws, you can swing the, what they call the staff here, left or right. But I went ahead and tried by using all my push over to the left to try to bring this bullet over to the left, because we were about a foot to the right at 50 yards. And like I said, guys, this may be a good hat for a derby or a bowler. I mean, a good gun for a derby or a bowler. All right, here we go. Were we still low?
I couldn't tell.
I've seen a lot of dirt, but I couldn't tell if I hit low or what. Okay, guys, I think I fixed our left and right issues, and I've raised it up a long way, up to 75 minutes of angle. See if we can get on here at 50 yards. Turns out I forgot to fill my powder horn before I came out here, so we may be out of powder in just about another shot, but I'd like to at least get the elevation right at 50 before we start moving up. Here we go. Okay, so I have used the bottom screws to drift the staff over just a hair. Yeah, okay. So hopefully at 50 yards, we can find something today. I had aspirations of taking this gun out to longer ranges, but not at this rate. And I gotta find the target first. All right, I'm gonna hold just a hair low and on, ready to fire. I held a hair low and I hit a hair low.
High, I know that much.
How high?
Maybe skin the top of the rib.
I'm overthinking it. I'm trying to adjust for things that I shouldn't be adjusting for. It's hard to think about the fact that with these sights, you should be able to just shoot where you're aiming, right? So we're not gonna hold under. We're gonna hold dead on. Let's see where this bullet goes.
Ready when you are. Okay.
50 minutes of angle. That was a flinch because that was a hang fire.
Right
to
the
for on paper. Shot through the backside, hopefully. Alright guys, that was frustrating because at 50 yards I did not put this thing on paper. And what was super frustrating about it was the last 4 shots, every time I pulled the trigger, just as I pulled it, the wind would blow the paper away. And I had it staked down to the side of that hill, so I finally just gave up on that, aimed at a spot on the hill, and blew it away with the last shot. So I'm on at 50. I need to do some more playing with this. It's kind of been frustrating today, just to say the least, but I do know now where this veneer sight is hitting at 50 yards. 50 yards is exactly 50 minutes of angle. And so that is all working out just fine. A few things I've learned: not to bring my broad brimmed hat to shoot veneer sights. And another thing that I'm actually really happy about with this rifle is the fact that we are something to the tune of close to 20 shots in, and it's a little stiff, but it's still opening like it should. So it's not binding up like that other one we were shooting last week. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Sorry I didn't get many good shots on target. I will keep working with this rifle. Hopefully we'll bring you something that we can actually go out to range and shoot within the next few weeks. Anyway, see you later. Bye.